I get this question a lot of times, and I want to address it. What's the difference between the standard Audi Q5 and the SQ5? So that's the SQ5 over there, just behind that door. That's the SQ5, and this is the standard Audi Q5. So a bit of a background. People are very different. The way I drive, I personally consider myself to be a very aggressive driver. People say I drive cars fast, but there are people who don't drive the same way I drive. There are other people who are chill. They don't want, they don't want something that's too fast. They just want to drive within the laws. Perfect. So car manufacturers know this, and for that reason, they'll typically make cars and give them different performance variations, and that's where the differences between the Audi Q5 and the Audi SQ5 typically come in. So this is the standard Audi Q5. This one has a sunroof. It's an S-line trim. I'll talk about trimmings another day, but trimmings are basically like equipment levels. So over and above the performance and whatnot, when you come to the standard Q5, there are other categories, but I won't talk about today. I just want to talk about the general Audi Q5 and the SQ5. So the Audi Q5 has a 2000cc engine mated to an 8-speed gearbox. This is the sort of Audi Q5 you buy if you're just a simple person. You don't want something that is too much of a performer. You want a vehicle that's fast. You want a vehicle that can go off-road, doesn't consume a lot of fuel, simple for day-to-day operations. You go for this Audi standard Q5. So let me show you how it looks, and let me talk about the individual specs that make it very different from the SQ5. So ukiangalia kama rims hapa, these are size 19 rims. If you come at the back over here, exhaust 1, exhaust 2, but the body remains constant. Now let's head over to the Audi SQ5. So this is the SQ5. So the SQ5 is built for mad people like me. Kama unapenda mbio, you want something that's very, very fast. You want something that's very, very aggressive, and you want something that you can take to the racetrack. You buy the Audi SQ5. So hapa speedo goes up to 300 kilometers per hour. This is the gearbox. It's still an 8-speed, but there are a bit of differences in terms of how this gearbox is tuned and how that gearbox is tuned. Because the gearbox is the same. It's the ZF 8 HP gearbox, but the tuning is a bit different. So the SQ5 also gets bigger brakes, because the assumption is these brakes are actually big than what you find on that. You also get a quad exhaust. So exhaust 1, exhaust 2, exhaust 3, exhaust 4, and the major factor, you get a V6 3000cc engine. So the price for that one is 4.8 million Kenya shillings. The price for this one is roughly, I think, 5.3, 5.4 million Kenya shillings. So if you want performance, SQ5. If you want daily practicality, standard Q5. So head over to KhalifKairo.com and read more about both cars.